As you can see today, I'm carrying a heavy load. Oh, it's heavy. I have in it some burdens, some cares, and I'm lugging it around, and it gets very wearisome. How about you? Do you have some burdens you're carrying around? What does the Bible say we should do to get rid of our burdens? There is an answer. 1 Peter 5:7 tells us, casting all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. But to understand this verse, we first need to look at the context. Peter is writing this letter to the churches and to you and me. He is an older man now, and he wants to share his wisdom. He tells us to clothe ourselves with humility. He reminds us that God is opposed to the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Therefore, humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you at the proper time. Then here comes our verse, casting all your anxiety on him. Notice that the word humility or humble is repeated. In contrast is pride, and God is opposed to the proud. To be humble means to bow down. It means to make yourself lower than someone else, in this case, God. It's the opposite of pride, and it means that we are dependent on God. We are willing to serve others. In fact, to be clothed in humility is a rare word which means put on an apron like a servant, like Jesus did when he washed the disciples' feet. It means that we're thinking about others and not just ourselves. Peter reminds us to humble ourselves under the mighty hand of God. He is the one who has the strength and power to take our anxieties, to take care of us. And remember, even the wind and the waves obeyed Jesus. The word casting is an ongoing verb. You keep on doing it. It means to throw it away and don't take it back. Casting is a two-handed effort. It's like picking up a saddle and throwing it onto a horse. It takes effort. Spurgeon talks about the two hands as one hand of prayer and one hand of faith. The hand of prayer is when we tell God what we want. We are pouring out our hearts. The hand of faith is believing that God hears and will answer. And together we say, praise the Lord, he gets the glory. 1 Peter 5 also tells us there's a reason why we can do this. It says, because he cares for you. We have an amazing God. He is personal. He knows about you. It's like no other religion on the world. We don't have to try and manipulate and get him to hear us. He wants to hear us. Spurgeon tells us a story of a man who comes to your house to move furniture. He has a heavy backpack on and he's loaded down, moving slowly. If he would take that burden off, he could work for you. In the same way, we become loaded down, full of worries and anxieties, and it keeps us focused on ourselves and our own problems. It makes it difficult to work for the Lord. What is troubling you right now? What unhealthy anxieties are tearing you down? Something that says, I can't handle this. Here's a simple formula for cast. Number 1, commit. Commit to throwing it away. And then A is for ask. Out loud, tell God your problems and ask him for help. Seems simple, but sometimes we forget to do it. S is for submit. We have to submit to God's way of answering us and also his timing. T is for trust. Very important. We need to stop, hope in God, and then rest. Here's your prescription for joy today. Write down 5 of your greatest burdens and then use those steps and cast them away. Sometimes I actually use my body and just say, "Here, Lord, I'm throwing them away." Or I might use a rock, or I might use a piece of paper. Then don't forget that we need to cultivate humility in this. It can be difficult, and sometimes we need to repeat and repeat. So we remove it from our hearts and our thoughts and keep on putting it on Jesus. I really pray today for you that you will learn from this how to cast your cares upon God, because He does care for you. And if this has encouraged you, please share with others.